Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
We got it. So, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, what better way to continue an epic day with an epic guest right now? I mean, someone as talented as you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There you go. There you go. Love it. So, welcome to the show. As I said, it is amazing to have you here. Jumping straight to the interview now.
Yeah.
How your acting career started?
Well, I guess when I was 7, I went to a theater camp. Not necessarily because it felt like it was some sort of calling. I think it was just I had to do something with the summer, and it was that or maybe sailing or something like that. And I didn't want to do sailing, so I chose theater camp. And and they call my mom one day, and they say, "Hey, we need you to come in. We need to talk to you about your daughter." And she's like, "Oh shit, what did you do?" I don't know. So they brought her in, and they said, "Actually, we want to give her the lead. She seems to be good at memorizing things. She talks a lot. She's not shy." So so I'd say that's where it started, and then it's kind of it started there, and it never stopped. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. That is so cool. The fact that since you were little, you were meant to be. I love it. And what were some of the challenges that when you were starting with your acting career, but in a more professional way? Like, what were some of the challenges you had?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, there's always some sort of challenge to overcome. I would say, right now, I mean, I haven't been out in Los Angeles very long, so I'm still kind of just figuring it all out. But
yeah,
I'd say, you hear no a lot. You hear a lot of stuff a lot of the time that it's just tough to hear, and you just can't let it get you down. And so yeah, that's the biggest challenge, just overcoming that, I would say.
Yeah, okay. And how this year has been for you and your acting career so far?
It's been really interesting. Like I said, I've just really moved to Los Angeles and I got here and just got right into class, which is it's been super rewarding and important because you do class, obviously, so that you can get better, so that you can get hired and get booked. But there's days when, you go to class and it's nice to just have it be for you, for yourself. You're getting better just for you. So yeah, it's been great to use class to not just get better, but also to just act for the joy of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course it does. It does make sense, huh? Okay, I like that. And like how you usually create a character. Now I understand, of course, that depends on the role, but like say that what usually sets your whole creativity to go, so you can create this character that you're about to play.
Yeah. You always, of course, start with what the writer gave you, and you really go deep into what they gave you. You take away any judgment you have, of the character, because it's easy to do that, and we do it all the time.
Yeah.
Not just when we're watching TV or a movie, but yeah, when you're doing the work, there's always like some quality that comes out that maybe you don't immediately identify with the character, and you have to say, okay, well, what would make me do that, or would make me say that, think that, instead of looking at it and say, I would never do that, because your audience will see that. So I think going in depth with your text and just going immediately for what's logical, and it can be different every time. I mean, going in and just, you have to have so much preparation for it to look effortless. So I think when you're prepared enough, you can go in and just sort of let anything happen. Prepare to be free.
Totally. And it's a whole other process, right? The fact that you have to create this character, but at the same time, kind of kind of have. What I'm trying to say here is like the fact that that basically will have to put child like their childhood, teenage, like all those moments, and to kind of make it up to the moment that you're gonna play that character. I think that's really interesting, and also I would assume that it's kind of that you are able to learn more about yourself at the same time, kind of a break for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You end up putting so much of yourself into a character. I mean, even if you're striving not to do that, it'll happen, regardless. So being able to use yourself, of course, in the healthiest way possible. But you inevitably will always use personal life experiences to build a character naturally, of course.
Yeah, of course. Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, let's say that I'm about to create a character, right? So let's say that I'm an actor, right? And I'm about to be on this journey. Now, in your experience, what are some of the things that I need to consider first?
What do you need to consider first? First, you need to consider if you're crazy or not.
Okay.
Right. Because there's always a level of, if you're gonna do this, are you crazy? I don't know. A lot of us are, but
yeah.
Once you get past that, what you have to consider is am I doing it, for the right reasons? If you're looking to make money, this is not a good career choice. But if you're doing it for the passion, for the joy, like I said, you have to find a way to find personal joy in it. Otherwise, it's going to disappoint you a lot. So you have to have the personal joy. It's great to have support. I was really lucky. My mom and dad, when I said I'm going to go to college and study acting, there was no, are you sure that's a valid career option? Are you sure that's going to, make you enough money? And, there was none of that. And whether or not that's true, it's really nice to have people around you who are supportive of what you do. And you find a community of other people doing it too. Because you learn a lot from your peers. There's things that, obviously you're always trying to find a good teacher, but you learn so much by watching other people. So having a great, open mind to having every experience be a learning experience, not just classroom setting, but everywhere in life. You're always watching people, watching how they handle situations, traveling, if you can do that. I mean, that's great. Just seeing as much of the world and getting to know as much of the world as possible, because then you can take that and apply it to any.
I love it. Wow. And what would you say it's one of the reasons why so many actors can get stuck when they want to create a character?
I would getting stuck in judgment is a big one. You get stuck in, I would never do that. I would never say that. This is not me. So if you convince yourself of that, of course it's going to be true. So finding the side of you that's just really compassionate, I think, is important. Because whether or not you think this character is a good person, they're still a person with a story. Yeah. And you're never the villain in your own story. You're always the hero. So you have to just really take yourself and put yourself in this character's perspective. And like I said, say, what would make me do this? What would make me be this way? So getting stuck in judgment, I think, really can create a major blockade in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Huh. Okay. Now, let's say, so you finished, so you got the character, right? You got it now. So what did you process after? Would you do something else? If I already got the character, I'm gonna do something else, and once I go, I'm gonna just come back. Or before the moment you have to perform, would you be like, okay, I got the character now, so I'm gonna move this and this, probably be like this instead of like that? Like, what is your process after you got the character?
Yeah, I think once you've done all your homework that you write down on paper, and all your backstory and what happened when you were a child, and everything leading up to the moment of action, a huge thing that I've learned in my acting class is the place you're in. You have to really consider the place you're in, especially if it's a familiar place to you, or if it's a totally new place. How do you interact with?
Can't hear you. Oh yeah, I think I hear you.
Okay, good.
I hear you now. Yeah, good.
Sorry about that. Yeah, the way you interact with stuff is so vital to life, and we do it unconsciously. We don't think about it when we're doing it. But, you know, if you are in a scene and you walk into a room that, you know, is in your own house, and, you know, the situation is your partner is mad at you and yelling at you, you don't walk out into the middle of the room and stand there like deer in the headlights. You go and you make yourself busy. You go and you try to avoid. You do things to get yourself out of it. So once you have all the character work on the human being itself, the place you're in, it's just it sounds simple, but it can make or break something. The way you see someone interacting in a space. So for me, that would be the next step. Is okay, where am I? How do I interact with my environment?
Okay, I like it. Now, from all of the characters you have played at the moment, which one would you say that could describe a little bit about yourself, about the real you, you know?
Sure. One of my favorite characters I've ever played is Sir Andrew in Twelfth Night, Shakespeare. And it was an incredible production that I did in college because it was an all-female cast, and all the male characters, we all dressed up like men. We had facial hair and everything. It was awesome. We got to work with an incredible director named Lisa Volpe, who specializes in teaching women how to play men in Shakespeare. Okay. It's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so Sir Andrew is just a very, you know, sweet, naive guy who he gets pretty taken advantage of for the duration of the play. But he has a very open heart, and he just wants to be loved. And I think that there's a little bit of that in everybody, especially in actors. We're trying to, you know, show and please and you know, be our best and say, you know, love me or leave me. But yeah, one of my favorite characters ever. It was a blast getting to play him.
Okay. Now, let's say, so if you had to describe a film in which all of the characters you have at the moment, all of basically since day one until right now, like all of those characters will gather for your birthday. Tell me, like, what would be the name of that film? So it's gonna be your characters and you for your birthday.
The characters and me. Whoa. And what would be the name of the film? Well, let me think about this, because it's gonna encompass. I mean, I've played so many, you know, characters in Shakespeare. I've played characters in new plays. I've played, you know, teenagers. I've played people in their 80s. All of those people at a birthday party, you know, together with me, they're observing all of them interacting.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like the name of it could be Charcuterie Board Smorgasbord.
Okay, I like it.
Because there's a little bit of everything, right? There's a little bit of new, a little old, a little fresh, a little aged, you know, just like all the characters I've ever played.
I love it. And what would it be? Would it be like a comedy, drama, dramedy?
It would be an absolute farce. just total, ridiculousness. So, farces have a lot of doors. That's a thing in farce. There'd be a lot of open, closing doors, pies in the face, people falling downstairs. It would be an utter disastrous comedic farce.
Okay. Now, if you had to choose one of your characters to go out for some drinks, which one would you pick?
Ooh, probably Double Zero from a play called The Wolves by Sarah DeLapp. Phenomenal play about a high school girls soccer team. Just the kind of raw, feralness of being a teenager. Double Zero is the goalie, and she has high performance anxiety, wants to play her best, be the best on the team.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about that character, she doesn't speak really much at all in the play. She's this interesting, silent observer. But I feel like those people are the people with the good gossip. They because quietly just kind of there, so they're always watching, they're always hearing, everything.
Yeah. So
yeah, she's probably got some good shit on everybody that I would want to hear about. I would take her for drinks.
Okay. Now, would it be the same one if you had to choose one of the characters to be your roommate?
Oh no, she wouldn't be my roommate. Definitely not. I think Sir Andrew would probably be a good roommate because he's always like footing the bill for dinner, for drinks, always taking people out shopping. He seems like he'd be like just a very generous roommate. So yeah, he'd be a really good roommate.
Okay, I like that. Now, if you had to describe your whole career, but on a drink or in a meal, how would you describe it? Like, which drink would you choose?
Which drink or a meal? I think, I feel like I gotta have a couple of courses. And it's funny to ask this because food is actually another passion of mine that I really enjoy. And I used to, when I lived in Denver, Colorado, I used to work at this incredible restaurant. And we did this specialty dinner one night. That was the most fantastic meal I've ever had in my life. I'll never forget it. It was coconut glazed pork belly. It was like rich and delicious and melt in your mouth. And then and it was served with these steamed turnips, which on their own would just be fucking gross. Like, nobody really thinks of steamed turnips and wants them, but along with the rich pork belly, it just like worked, and it was so delicious. So I feel like I could sum everything up into that one meal because, like I said, there's just always something different going on. There's always a different experience, a different high, a different low. Yeah, I think that meal I had, I could sum the majority of my life up into that one meal.
I love it. Okay, I want to try it. I want to try it one day.
Yeah, whip it up.
I love it. Now, before I ask you the question, when is your birthday?
It's June 21st.
Oh, it's close. Fantastic.
It is.
All right, so let's say that for your birthday, I give you a time machine, right? But here's the catch. You will only have one chance to go back in time 10 years. So what would you say what would you say to yourself, to that version of yourself 10 years ago?
I think it's so funny to think about because honestly, I feel like I need to get in this time machine and go back to myself 10 years ago and ask her for advice. Rather than, I'm flipping the script on you, I guess. But yeah, I almost feel like she could give me advice now because the older you get, I don't know, you get scared of stuff, you question yourself more. Maybe not for everybody, but for me, I feel like as you think about back to when I was a kid, I was just fucking fearless, you know?
Yeah,
I wasn't afraid of anything. I feel like what my self 10 years ago, the advice she would give me now is just, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be worried about things not working out, but don't get in the way of happiness, of taking a chance or a risk. Because I think that's something that's always going to be there, is worry, you know, fear, but you can't let it rule you. And I think that's what myself 10 years ago would tell me. She was fearless. I try to emulate her today.
I love it. Yeah, you know, one of the things that I have discovered is the more that I get older, the more I start to get better.
Sure.
You know,
because life gets you down. It's hard.
Yeah. Motherfuckers.
I know. They get us down.
It sucks. Like, especially like in those moments in which, you know, you just feel that whatever you've been doing is kind of a waste of time. You know, that regardless of how much time you have put to it, it's just not the way that you want it. You know, like getting into all of this toxic thought is way too easy. And I do agree that back when you were, back when you were like more young, on like 12, like 15, 16, if that happened, you will be like, okay, yeah, you will feel bad for a couple of hours and then good to go. Even though you feel bad, but then if a friend would say like, hey, let's hang out, you will be like, okay, and you already forgot about what you were feeling. And now, even if they tell you let's hang out, you're like, no, I don't want it. You know, I'm like not in the mood. But then I do think it's also because, I mean, of course that life is tough, but also the fact that like, what's the word that I'm looking here? You know, like the fact that we you know, like I don't know what it is. You know, I don't know like how to describe it. If I know, I'll let you. But you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? Like the fact that it's just like it's not the same. You know, like it happened to me recently that I went to the restaurant to eat this meal that back then I used to love it, and now I hate it. You know, I feel horrible because I was like, you know, like then I used to love it, and now I just don't like it. Or I was playing football with my little cousin, and they beat the living shit out of me because, you know, they were fast, like no, you know, like perfect lungs, you know, no smoke, no nothing. They were running, jumping. I mean, even though that I did my best and I won that game, I remember that I was just like, I felt very miserable for the next couple of days because it was like what is wrong with me, you know? And like the funny thing is that I'm only 29, so I'm a little afraid of what 40s look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a scary indicator when you're already heaving in a game of, you know, like, and you got little kids running in circles around you.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. And whenever they say, "What, you're getting old?" then I would say, like, listen to me. Like, if I met you 20 years ago, I would have the living shit out of you, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, but hey, like my next question here is this: so when you get into this toxic thought, right, in which you are asking yourself if you should or continue, what usually puts your feet back on the ground so you can continue performing, you continue pursuing the thing that you love the most?
Yeah, I'd say you always, I'm like beating a dead horse here, but you just always have to go back to the joy. Because if you have no joy, you should quit.
Yeah.
And that's not to be negative. I think that's actually good advice. If the joy's gone, it's time to move on. And I think that's okay also to accept. Yeah, in those moments when you're down and you fucking hate it and you want to quit and you're just like, no point to this, it sucks.
Yeah.
I'll go back to a moment that craft really gave me joy. And there's a lot of them, which is really fortunate. But yeah, you gotta just always go back to the joy and why you do it. Because like I said, it's just such a hard job with lots of, you know, ups and downs.
Yeah.
You deserve to feel joy.
Preach. Yeah, I love it. Okay. my last question here is, what can we expect from you in the future?
You know, I mean, fingers crossed, a lot of different stuff. You know, dream would be to, you know, be regular on a sitcom, something like Friends, something, you know.
Yeah.
I love to do comedy. I love to make people laugh. That's definitely a core value and the joy of it for me. When you can honestly portray a human being, and you get people to get joy out of that. I mean, that's just priceless. I would do it for free, you know. So yeah, fingers crossed. One day I'll be doing that regularly, every day.
Of course, I mean, we all know that one day you're gonna get like so many awards that you're not gonna know where to put them anymore.
I'll have to build a library for them.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen, and I'm sure that's gonna happen because you love it, you know. And as simple as it may sound, we all know friends, family, even like people like that in our life that they just don't know what to do with life, you know. And there are some people that they're already in their 70s or even 80s, and they never knew what exactly to do with life, you know. And the fact that you already found it and you're pursuing it, and you're making it happen, it's more than obvious that it's gonna happen. I also do believe good things happen to those who are honest with themselves, you know. And the fact that you're doing it, that is really, it's really inspiring. And I think that is kind of the like with actors or like musicians, you know, like things like that. The thing that I love the most is like somehow you guys are kind of living proof that dreams come true, because at the end you took a risk. You know, you could have gone the traditional crazy suicidal way, which is finding a job, stay there for 40, 50 years, then retire 60, 75, probably 70, and then you don't know what the hell to do with life, and then they will tell you have money now, but you can't do anything because you're already too old. So the fact that you got away from that and create your own path out of nowhere, and you are making it happen, and like you are having like those small victories here and there, that is really cool.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, going back to what you said about, you know, knowing yourself and being able to check yourself. I mean, you have to have such a bullshit meter, you know, of yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not being honest with yourself. You're not, you know, not being authentic. Because no one else is gonna do that for you, and you really need to be good at doing it for yourself. And I think it's an admirable quality. I think people, when they see that you can keep yourself in check, they like that.
Yeah, I can agree on that. I can agree on that. That is amazing. I mean, at the end, I mean, what can I say? I mean, you're so badass. You are so talented. I can't wait. You know, I can't wait until more and more epic stuff happen, because they're gonna happen. On that. I also want to thank those who are watching this right now so much. If you're watching this later, either here on Instagram or later on YouTube, you know, or if you are on work, or working with a dog, or whatever you're doing, and you are listening into another awesome episode here in this podcast, make sure to follow this amazing, talented, super badass person that I'm speaking with right now. Like, follow her right now. Let's make her viral, like right now. Let's make sure everybody knows about her. Hashtag Team Hannah, because she's awesome, she's badass. And before I send off, I need to send you off properly with a big send off. So all my episodes before, I know exactly what is about to happen. You know, it's not a traditional group right now. But if not, then I can surprise you. So.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So. I love it. Yeah, you got it. All right. Yes. Woo! Yes. That was badass. That was plus.
It was convenient, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I love it.
I did my homework, don't worry.
Oh, okay. Good. And again, thank you so much for being here. I mean, keep doing what you do. Keep inspiring people. Keep having fun, and just make it happen. You are talented here, and I hope that one day we're gonna like the whole Staples Center surrounded with people cheering you because you're so bad.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to talk to you.
All right, have a good one. Okay?
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.